There are always skeptics and cynics who can't stand any optimism about Ben Simmons. They say he's washed, or done, often with some unprintable descriptions of a career gone wrong, especially since his time in Philadelphia. And who can blame them? It's been a long and bumpy ride since the 2022 trade and its aftermath. But now, as training camp opens, we're seeing that familiar late September ritual, videos of Simmons making jump shots, even from beyond the three-point line, and positive news about his availability. It all started with an episode of our podcast, The Brooklyn, a week ago. We noted that Simmons was playing 5-on-5 in Miami, where he's been rehabbing from his second back surgery in March. Brooklyn even sent James Moore, their return-to-performance coordinator, to Miami to monitor his progress. Relations between the Nets front office and Simmons' team are reportedly excellent. Then, in less than 24 hours, Chris Brickley, one of the NBA's top personal trainers, posted 3 glowing messages on social media about Simmons. He started with a tweet saying Simmons was ready to have a good season, then claimed he's back to playing all-star level basketball, and finally, better now than his all-star seasons, which definitely deserves a few exclamation points. Hype, exaggeration, hope. Maybe. But let's not forget that during his 3 seasons in Philly, Simmons was a 3-time All-Star, twice first-team All-Defense, and even the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. He was also the NBA steals leader and a 1-time All-NBA selection. Before that, he was Rookie of the Year. That's a pretty impressive resume. Recently, Simmons has been working with Brickley at his Summit Gym in New York and at the HSS Training Center, scrimmaging with teammates. The Nets and Team Simmons are keeping things low-key, aware of past accusations of hype. They're waiting and seeing, letting others talk about him if they want. One thing is certain, Brooklyn's training camp this September is far different from last year's. The Nets are in a rebuild, hoping to cash in on as many as 6 draft picks, maybe even the number 1 overall. Simmons, on the other hand, is more of an afterthought, valuable more for his soon-to-be vacant cap space than his play on the court. After a much-hyped return last year, he never took off, averaging 6 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds in 24 minutes per game, all below his career numbers. His free throw shooting percentage slipped to 40%, his worst ever. Then, nerve impingement issues returned, leading to a second surgery within 2 years. So, is there a realistic rationale for Simmons' return to form? It's tough to be as optimistic as Brickley, but the second surgery was a new approach that should reduce recurring back issues. It was less complicated and had a shorter recovery time, giving Simmons more time to prepare for camp. He's also only 28, which many see as a pro star's sweet spot. Despite what the cynics say, Ben Simmons loves basketball. His record during those 3 years proves it. He could have retired and kept getting paid, but he chose to undergo surgery and months of rehab instead. 2 back surgeries should absolve him of any accusations of being soft. What could a healthy Simmons bring to a rebuilding team? More wins, for starters. He could also diversify the offense. There are reports that Jordi Fernandez might use Simmons in the high post, the fulcrum of a modified Princeton offense. At the very least, it could make the season interesting. Simmons could ruin the tank. That's the latest mantra. But the Nets' prospects are seen as so bad that an improved Simmons isn't going to move the needle much. They're likely to have 4 first-rounders and 2 seconds in June, which should be enough. They're not winning a ring anytime soon. So, how should we respond to good news, even if we've been disappointed before? Be skeptical, sure, but root for the home team. What's it going to cost you if Simmons doesn't meet Brickley's high praise? Not much, unless you're a degenerate gambler. There's a reason sports are about irrational exuberance.